Well, hello you bearded bastards, and welcome back once again to Shissenal Bearall Fur, Fang Mountain, the Bastion of Beasts, where things are surprisingly looking pretty okay, beyond all reason. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but hey, I'll take it. Now, you may remember that in the recent past, this fortress has been through quite a bit of trauma, and at one point we were down to 4 dwarves in the fortress. But we have somehow managed to drag ourselves back from the brink, which is really quite remarkable in my opinion. Not typically one to toot my own horn, but I am feeling rather chuffed with these dwarves. Currently, if we have a look, we are up to 71 dwarves, which isn't too bad. Soon we're going to be alerting the nearby goblin civilization though, which I'm not too excited about, because as of yet we still have really no way to defend ourselves whatsoever. I am sure you remember that this is intended to be a beast taming fortress, and we are feeling rather hopeful about our jabberers up here. We do currently have 3 adults and 2 hatchlings, and eggs are slowly being produced, but this is not going to do much in the way of protecting our fortress. I'll tell you that much right now. And so I'm thinking that a good portion of this episode, at least the beginning anyways, is going to be just us skipping through a bunch of time. That's the plan anyways. But of course, plans usually go a little bit ass ways whenever we try anything in Dwarf Fortress, so we'll have to play it by ear. We want a bunch of time to go by so that we can finally get some more jabberers, and also because we still have a lot to do in the fortress in terms of keeping these dwarves happy. It's incredibly lucky that we were able to pull ourselves back like this, and I really want to maintain our dwarves' happiness. If we don't, then it's still very likely that we could fall victim to a tantrum spiral, and nobody wants that at all. No, we're going to make sure that all the dwarves have nice 3x3 bedrooms, as well as plenty of furniture to go in them, which of course includes beds, and we are depressingly low on wood right now, so we're going to have to go back out into the tunnels at some point, not something anybody's looking forward to. And actually, if you look up here, we have 3 large suites going in, one for Rumble, one for Grizzle, and one for Bear Hug as well. All the new dwarves in the fortress see those 3 as heroes and founders of the fortress, and seeing as how they've been through so much already, their happiness is paramount. On top of that, we do have a new hospital as well. Gonna need some more beds to go in there too. We're also carving out some space for workshops down below. Plenty of space too. And we even have some space for storage down underneath the workshops. It should work out pretty well, I'm thinking. And we'll still need a temple. Oh, a farm area too. Believe it or not, we still don't have one of those. And I'm sure there's several other things I'm forgetting as well. And additionally, I would really like to clear out this giant circular room here because I think it would be really neat to put a mural on the floor. Of what, I'm not too sure, but I'm sure we'll figure something out in time. Oh, and damn it, looks like we just got a new migrant wave, so we're gonna have to carve out some more bedrooms, and even worse, it brings our population up to 81 dwarves. And so the nearby goblins are bound to notice us any time now. Not stellar news, but that's fine. At this point, I'm pretty confident we can survive anything that's thrown at us. Should not have said that at all. Oh well. We're just gonna keep trucking along for now and try to get some more jabberers. That is our main goal. And if those goblins do end up showing up, then we'll figure something out then. These dwarves seem to like to cross bridges when they get to them. Keeps things exciting, and I can appreciate that. Oh boy. Little incident here in the jabberer pen. It looks like one of them just reverted to a wild state and mauled one of our nurses. I did, by the way, go through and change a bunch of the profession names, so that's why we have a nurse. Anyways, yeah, wow, ouch. It was a pretty quick battle there, but the jabberer was able to snatch the nurse and tore off one of their arms. Ugh, not good. And also just beat the hell out of them, big time. Oof, well, I mean, it's not good. It's not good at all, but, I mean, we can retrain this jabberer, and it'll be ours once more, so that's exciting. It's a shame that it damaged one of our dwarves, but I do like to see a jabberer doing damage like this. Kind of exciting, in a dark sort of way. Anyways, the jabberer is now in a cage trap. Oh, what the hell? Okay, hold up. Another one just reverted to a wild state and mauled one of our farmers. Yeah, same deal here. Snatched the farmer and tore the muscle of one of their feet. Not excellent, but also kind of okay. Oh, okay, Jabberer, stop doing that, please. Just snatched our manager in their arm and, tore off their arm. What is snatch? Just like with their claws, I guess? Just like clawed our manager's arm off? Not great. The silly thing is that these now wild jabberers are still assigned to this pasture, and so dwarves are trying to take them out of the cages and bring them back in this room. Wild jabberers. Dwarves, let's, not do that, please. They're obviously going to destroy you. But yeah, I think we're good now. We're good. Those 2 wild jabberers are now back in cages. Oh, you know what? They were the female ones, the hatchlings from last episode. The previous brood. And it's those two females that are going to be giving us our new tame jabberers. And so yeah, I really don't like to see our dwarves getting injured like that, but at least we know our future jabberers are going to be coming from a nice feisty bloodline. Excellent. Yep, things are moving right along. If you have a look at our trade depot, you can see the elves from Adaladafi have arrived to trade once more. Mildly exciting. I suppose we should do some trading. Couldn't hurt. Got some cages here. Look at that. It looks like they brought with them a bobcat cage. For some reason I wasn't expecting it, but we'll have to make sure to grab it. That is excellent. There we are, wonderful. And now we just have to figure out something to do with the bobcat. I suppose the most obvious course is to build a temple to the deeps of cresting. Something we should have done long ago. Foolish of us. Yeah, we'll get right to it. And aside from that, we are also working on this mural over here, and it is almost completed. I'm hoping you can easily tell it's Pestrat the Forgotten Beast, the one that destroyed our fortress, as well as Ed, holding his mighty pick, which he used to fell the beast. Indirectly, of course. And we did even manage to give Ed some green eyes, as is common for the dwarves of the scraped gold. Yeah, overall I'm fairly satisfied with this. It stands as yet another point of honor for our dwarves. Looking over this way, you can see our hospital, which is now completed, and looking very spiffy too. We did manage to have enough beds, thankfully, but now we're completely out. Oh, and you will notice these wells over here too. Completely functional, and fed from this water below. We had it pumped in from that little drinking cistern that we made. Completely safe, no worries. Anywho, yes, the caverns. Not too thrilled about having to go out there again, but it's what we have to do, and this time we're going to be a little bit more smart about it. Maybe. We'll see. No promises. You know, instead of just knocking down this wall here, I think we're going to create a new, safer tunnel that leads out to the caverns. We'll kind of do it like this, branching off the former tunnel that led down. And when it gets down to the caverns, we'll kind of have it twist around in this sort of fashion. Because I also have another little plan that I would really like to try. You see, the caverns around here seem to be loaded with gremlins. I know this because when we had the caverns open, they were running in almost constantly. Way more than I had even showed you. Additionally, I've been getting this "something has emptied a cage" message a whole hell of a lot, and I believe that is due to gremlins. I think they go out in the caverns and they empty out our cage traps that have caught animals. The little troublemakers. Gremlins are so tricky in fact that you cannot catch them in cage traps. They just avoid them, no problem whatsoever. Very nimble. But I read a little method in which you can trap them. They just have to be knocked unconscious first. And I want to see if we can accomplish that here. Just a little side challenge while we wait for our jabberer population to skyrocket. Keeps us busy, you know. Yeah, looks like we have dwarves out in the caverns now. Not excellent. Be wary, dwarves. We all know well the legend of Pestrat and the first fall of Fang Mountain. Really though? I mean, come now. I'm gonna tell you what. A lot of you folks out there seem to think that I script this sort of stuff. Like that thing I just said about the legend of Fang Mountain. I did not. No, I just happened to say that. And up pops Thefin Enothithis, a forgotten beast, which appears to be an enormous Dimetrodon composed of carnelian. Ooh, that's very bad, although strangely beautiful. This beast has large mandibles and it undulates rhythmically. Beware its deadly spittle. Okay, I'll tell you what, that's a decent trade-off. It's made of carnelian, which is a fairly dense material, I believe. But at least this one does not have webs. That being said, I'm sure it could still easily plunge through our entire fortress, killing everybody instantly. And that being the case... Well, first off, let's find out where this creature is. First cavern layer, where we have our dwarves currently scurrying around, remember? And well, it looks like the creature is a decent distance from the fort currently. That being said, I don't know what we're going to do about it. We don't have any walls or gates or anything, so I really hope we're not screwed again, I guess. Alright, well, we have the game paused currently, and I just set up a burrow here in the meeting hall, and I'm just trying to figure out what we could do. So, I mean, because our options are limited, I just told all the dwarves to come here to the meeting hall. And while they do, we're also going to try building a wall down here so we can keep that beast out. And if we can't do this, then the second fall of Fang Mountain is imminent. Keeping an eye on Thefin, who is moving straight in, of course. Not great. Taking a look at the wall that is to be built, I don't know why a dwarf would be sleeping right where the wall is going to be. Two dwarves, now sleeping. Really, any other place is a lot better than this, dwarves. Off with you. Uh-oh. Taking things a little slower. It looks like that Dimetrodon has worked its way into the tunnel, and we are completely out of time. Not optimal. Not at all. Well, as for the meeting hall dwarves, I'm gonna have everybody go to the jabberer chamber. I don't think the jabberers are going to be able to protect us. I really don't. But, I don't know. Options are limited, again. Looking back over at this tunnel, all the dwarves are dead, of course. But the beast appears to have gone down to where our water pump is, and destroyed it, and went down into the water. It now appears to be using that water canal to go back out into the caverns. Oh, but it's coming back, and is going back out to the caverns, and is coming back now, and is going to the caverns. I'm not too sure what this thing is doing. Well, while it's out there, we can try to get these walls built here. Gonna have to build 2 walls now. We have to take advantage of this time, dwarves. Work swiftly now. Come on, yep, almost there. Dwarves, what the hell are you doing? Come on. Build those walls, damn it. Okay, there we go. Both walls are completed. That beast is now locked out. Excellent. Although, I mean, we don't have any warriors in our fortress right now. Like, nothing at all. But the humans just arrived to do some trading. And they brought with them a whole load of very well-equipped guards. Maybe we can let that beast in. I'm sure they could handle it. I want to get back out to those damn caverns, I'll tell you that much. And so yeah, maybe we'll just crack a little hole in that wall. And now we just gotta hope Theffin stops playing in this water over here and comes up to the fortress. Looks like Theffin is moving now. Very good. Coming up towards the fortress. And it is in that tunnel once more, heading towards the gap in the wall. But is turning around for some reason. You indecisive beast, what the hell are you doing? Looks like it's attacking, what the hell was that? A raven. A raven down in the caverns. I don't know how it got down there. Well, no matter. It looks like Theffin is now heading down to the 2nd cavern level and is chasing around a pack of Crundles. What a pain in the butt. Could you just come up and get destroyed by those humans already? Ugh, I hate that unpredictability. But maybe we can work with that. We have a couple dwarves now heading down to the 2nd cavern layer, and hopefully they can block up the passage so that Theffin cannot get back up to the fortress. Of course, on the same token, we will not be able to get back down to the 2nd cavern layer, or the 3rd for that matter, but as long as we can still access the 1st, I'll count it as a win. Alright, looks like Theffin is still down in the 2nd cavern layer. Keep busy, you big bastard. It looks like there's one more section of that floor to be built before we're safe, and it looks like Little Rumble is the one who's going to build it. Oh, I don't like this. Not at all. Remember, she had a leg pulled off by a ghost as well as one of her arms, and so she's moving rather slowly. Gonna have to speed things up a little bit, girl. You've been through enough and I don't want you to get torn apart by this beast. Oh, we have eyes on the Dimetrodon, who is down in the 3rd cavern layer. The 3rd cavern layer, way below us now. Still chasing around Crundles too. And it looks like Rumble just completed that last section. Good job, Rumble. That is phenomenal. You may also be noticing that she seems to be doing a bit better mentally. And while we're on the subject of Little Rumble here, having a look at her mind, you can see she's actually not stressed out at all, which is really saying something. Oh, would you look at that? Bravery is not a strength of mine. So very modest. Alright now, dwarves, I suppose we can get back to work, finally. I guess that whole mess did take up a considerable chunk of time. Pretty annoying, but no matter. We're getting back to it now, having a brief look in on our jabberers, and, well, we do have the 5 adults now, and still only 1 nest box with eggs in it, waiting for those to hatch, and I'm also hoping we'll get some more eggs in another one of those boxes. It seems like it's taking a while, and I don't know why that would be. I was hoping things would speed up a bit, but if they don't, then I'm not sure there's much else we can do. We're counting on you, jabberers. Don't let us down, please. You're kind of the reason we're still here. Down here in the caverns, it looks like Theffin has spotted a jabberer and is now moving in. That's very interesting. I want to see how much damage, if any, this jabberer can do. As I've said before, I don't have very high hopes for it, but who the hell knows? Maybe it'll give us a nice surprise. Alright, they are fighting. It looks like the beast just spit a glob of spittle at the jabberer, and that's it. That's the entire combat right there. Depressingly quick. After spitting quite a few globs of extract at the jabberer, it looks like it just basically, well, it beat it up a whole bunch, and then bit it in the head, basically crushing its head. Well, that's no good. But that was just one jabberer after all. We're hoping to have a whole bunch of them, remember? A wall of war-trained jabberers, I'm sure, could fare much better against a threat like that, right? Yes, definitely. Oh, and over here at our new cavern entrance, a gremlin just popped up. I'll keep letting you know whenever we do see them, just to give you an idea of how much there are around here. Let's have a look down at our gremlin cage trap, mess. Yeah, it's a little bit complicated. As I said, there's going to be a bunch of cage traps just all over the place. Oh, hold up just a second. It looks like another dwarven helix has been founded nearby. Its name is Staffwork. It looks to our thriving economy, typically based on tattered clothing and other garbage, for its future prosperity. Our legend continues to grow. Anyways, back to the gremlin cage trap. Yeah, a bunch of cage traps all over the place through this winding corridor. Also, you might notice that there are a bunch of support pillars in there as well, and that the walls of this winding tunnel are all fortifications. Now, my plan is to use these support pillars to drop down chunks of stone, which will then blow out clouds of dust all over the place, and that typically knocks things unconscious. And I'm thinking if we can trigger this thing in time while a gremlin is heading through this corridor, then we stand a pretty decent chance of knocking them unconscious and getting them into a cage trap. Of course, for us to do that, we'll have to spot them first. So I'm also trying to think of a place where we can put a dog in this chamber. Yeah, it's kind of a mess, but I'm thinking it stands a decent chance at working. Screw that, actually never mind. This is not going to work. Nothing in Dwarf Fortress works. Anyways, moving on. Oh, just wonderful. Another helix has been found nearby. This one's name is Page Granite. Very good, very good. A little misguided to be looking to us for your prosperity, but, well, you're free to do as you will. Not too sure why these helix are looking to us for their prosperity. Hell, maybe all the dwarves of this civilization are fairly addled. Certainly seems to be the case. Ah, damn it all. Yet another forgotten beast. Azengek, a great three-eyed newt. It has a square shell and it is ravening. Its indigo skin is waxy. Beware its deadly blood. Okay, a newt. Well, as far as forgotten beasts go, this is probably our tamest one so far. Though, once again, we should still assume that this thing could tear through our entire, very frail fortress. Because I'm sure it could if it wanted to. Once again, it looks like this beast has popped up in the first cavern layer, not very far away from our fortress at all. So not good. Although this time it shouldn't be a huge problem because we do have this gate here, which just closed, thankfully. And so now that newt is locked out in the caverns. Safe and sound, no problem at all. Oh, and in fact, that's awfully silly. It appears the creature is tangled up in these mushroom trees, and it can come no closer to our fortress. Just excellent. You know, I have been meaning to try to create some sort of a trap for these things. It might be interesting to try to weaponize them. Those goblins are going to be showing up anytime soon, and we still have no way to protect ourselves from them. Extremely foolish. Extremely foolish. We'll try out something like this up on the surface. Not sure if it'll work at all, but I guess time will tell. Also, what the hell? While we're up here, let's have a quick look. You can see the main gate of the fortress, a fairly wide avenue with a nice marble road leading in. These pens will be on either side of the road, and will probably connect up to the second wall we have. Moving up a little bit, you can see the ends of the second wall, kind of just coming down this ramp here. Oh, just spotted another gremlin down in the caverns. You little bastard. Come back in just a little bit, my friend, and that trap should be good to go. Anywho, yes, back up at the surface. You can see the interior wall as well as the ends of the outer wall, and if we slowly move up levels, you can see how the second wall continues up this slope here, and completely encircles the inner wall. I don't have total faith it'll protect us at all during a siege, but it sure is imposing to look at, isn't it? Yes, quite a sight. Yet another point of honor for the bearded bear. The bobcat watches still. Now let's see, having a look back at our jabberers, and it looks like 3 of the nest boxes are filled with eggs currently. Just wonderful. We did have some eggs in there before, and remember how I mentioned it seemed to be taking a while for them to hatch? Well, you know, I think it had something to do with our animal population. We had a ton of dogs, and unfortunately we had to butcher some of them. I think we just had too many animals. But it should be fine now. These eggs are all fresh, and they should be hatching anytime now. Hopefully. We'll see. Oh, oops. Looks like we had a little bit of an accident here, and a section of cavern has collapsed. Okay, there we go. No huge deal, thankfully. Oh, but this is interesting. Have a look here. It looks like we now have a couple of dwarf cages. These dwarves being our citizens. I'll bet they were knocked unconscious by that dust and blown into these cage traps. And if it works on them, I'm sure it'll work on a gremlin. I'm getting pretty excited about that. It'd be neat to see if we could actually catch one of those bastards. So excited, in fact, that we had to let some time pass just now. Quite a considerable amount of time, too, as you can see. Our gremlin cage trap shenanigans here have, evolved quite a bit. Let's zoom out a little bit. You can see that we've opened up this wide tract of caverns around our fortress entrance. It's really quite spacious now, and there's a bit of a walled-in moat, too, that we're hoping to get filled with water fairly shortly. Now, the fortress can be accessed through the use of this bridge here that is currently retracted because another forgotten beast had just shown up. What a hassle, huh? We really have to come up with a way to deal with those things. Yeah, believe it or not, we still haven't. Now, if you look downwards just a little bit here, you can see that that moat continues down quite a ways, actually, 4 Z levels, and surrounds the entirety of that entrance, just as a bit of extra protection. Certainly couldn't hurt. Oh, and you know, actually, before we continue on, I'm noticing that forgotten beast is sitting down here in our water canal. Very interesting, because actually, just above it, there's an open space, and quite a ways above that is the cavern ceiling. And so just give us a moment here. Just gonna carve away a bit of this stone, just like that. Excellent. Yeah, another forgotten beast crushed with a giant boulder. Fantastic. I'm really enjoying that method. If the circumstances allow for it, it's an excellent way to deal with your beasts. Anywho, it looks like it's safe to traverse the caverns once more, dwarves. And so off with you. Back to work. We can actually begin carving away some of this stone now to let that water out. Just wonderful. Okay, there we go. A little messier than I thought it would be. For some reason the miners seem to really like plunging off this cliff down into the water. Come on guys, what are you doing? You want to think about what you're doing, please. Oh no, that is mighty foolish. I forgot to link up this bridge. If we can't get the thing to close, then this water will just keep flowing through here. And I want it to fill up. But we do have an engineer on it. Okay, there we go. It should be all set now. Wonderful work. Back over here at the waterfall, it looks like the water is now freely flowing. Very good job, dwarves. Also, I can really appreciate the lack of drownings. Quite surprised by that, actually. And now moving on from there, the gremlin trap hasn't seen much usage, but it's only because we've had so many dwarves out in the caverns lately that I think we spot the gremlins before they can get into this trap. We're gonna have to wait for things to slow down a bit before we can actually hope to catch one in here. But we're almost done with our work out there, so it shouldn't take much longer. Yeah, and actually, it looks like something just emptied a cage down here in the 3rd cavern layer. A Crundle was just released by a gremlin, I'm sure, but it's down in the 3rd cavern layer, which is still blocked up due to our forgotten beast problem. Though that being said, I have not seen Thefin in quite some time. And the last time I did see the beast, it was pretty badly beaten up. Not by any one creature, but the thing made a habit of just kind of cruising around the tunnels starting fights with literally everything, including some other forgotten beasts that it managed to kill. And the last time I saw it, it was missing various limbs and was fractured all over the place, so maybe it actually died somewhere out in the caverns. We may have to open up the lower tunnels at some point soon, but until then we'll keep our eyes open. Additionally, we have caught a great number of creatures down in the lower caverns, but we haven't been able to bring them to the fortress, which is a damn shame. We have some interesting ones too, including some hungry heads and a flesh ball, which I'm not sure if I've seen before, honestly. Very intrigued. Soon enough though, don't really want to rush things. Yo, what the hell? Oh my god, that is so stupid. Alright, so we have this dwarf here dead. Long dead. I was just on my way up to show you guys the rest of the fortress, but here we are. This dwarf here is Rumble. I mean, this is disturbingly foolish and extremely careless of both myself and the dwarves here. Nobody's even spotted her dead yet, and I have to imagine it's because she remains here where she was. She must have just starved to death, which is terrible. Remember when she put that boulder in place and blocked up the lower levels of the fortress? Well, foolish me, she blocked up the stairway, and so she couldn't get back up the stairway. She built a floor over it, and so she's just been here the entire time. She died at some point, and I have to imagine it was, more than a year ago. Damn it, that's a stupid end. I'm pretty upset about that, honestly. I really enjoy watching notable dwarven children especially grow up, because it's fun to keep up with their story, and to have one die so pointlessly, so very carelessly, kind of disheartening. Well, you know, at this point I don't really want any dwarves going down there and seeing the corpse. It'd be a bit disturbing, so I'm just gonna crack open the wall of this stairway here while this water flows in, and we'll just give her a nice water burial. And when we do finally go back down to the lower caverns, we'll just make a new stairway. And I suppose we'll have to get a memorial slab put up too. A special one, I think. She deserves it. I'm actually ashamed about this, honestly. Usually I'm pretty good at keeping tabs on the dwarves, but I guess we were just a bit busy out in the caverns. Just shameful, really. Anyways, moving on. If you have a look in our jabberer chamber, you can see that we now have a few new hatchlings in here, and our total jabberer population is now up to 8, I believe. Oh, 9 actually. 5 adults and 4 hatchlings. And you can also see that 3 of these nest boxes are now filled with eggs. 5 eggs total, something I am very thrilled with. But again, I feel like it's taking a long time for them to hatch. These eggs have been in here for a while now. And again, I'm curious if it has something to do with our animal population. Excuse me, Dwarf. You have disrespected the trees in this area, but this is what we've come to expect from your stunted kind. Further abuse cannot be tolerated. Let this be a warning to you. Oh my, that is adorable. Apparently the local elven civilization think that the mushroom trees beneath the ground, in the caverns, our caverns, part of our fortress, they think those mushrooms are theirs, which is hilarious. And, I mean, just foolish really when you get down to it. You elves are nothing. Get the hell out of here. We'll trade with you all day long, but if you think you can march in here and tell us what to do with our property, then, well, you're out of your goddamn minds. Take a hike, will ya? Anyways, before we were so disgustingly interrupted, back to our jabberers here. We have 9 of them and some new eggs as well, 5. And we've been waiting a while for them to hatch. I don't know if that's due to our animal population. As I said before, we did manage to butcher a ton of dogs, and we only have a few left, really. And in total, we have a bit less than 50 animals. So I think that should be fine. I know for a fact I've had more animals in fortresses before, so that shouldn't be the problem, but I don't know. I do want to get down to the caverns and take care of those caged animals, just in case though. Oh boy, that might be a bit difficult though, because it looks like we have another forgotten beast out in the caverns, in the first cavern lair too. Its name is Zekrim Uvirgulgun, an enormous pterosaur with lidless eyes. It also has a pair of spindly antennae and it squirms and fidgets. Its pale chestnut scales are oval-shaped and overlapping. Beware, it's deadly dust, which is a bad one indeed. Deadly dust is never a fun thing for a dwarf. Hell, forgotten beasts overall are pretty damn dangerous, but one with deadly dust kind of amps that up a bit. Having a look here, it is just to the southeast of the fortress, not very far away at all, and is flying straight in. That wall that surrounds us does not reach to the ceiling, so this creature's not going to have any problem getting to the fortress. Though I'm pretty sure the only way it can really get in is through our main gate, so as long as we close that gate up in time, it shouldn't end up being a problem at all. Just gonna speed things up a little bit here. I think it's going to be fine. I hope it's going to be fine. It's definitely not fine. No, it's definitely not fine at all. Sticky situation right there. Okay, alright, well, how about this? How about this? I got a little idea here. Taking things slowly. This idea that I have may result in the death of a couple dwarves, but it might also save a few of them as well. I just told some of the dwarves upstairs to release these supports and to cause a cave-in. And, well, if it works, then these dwarves should be blown into cage traps. And if that happens, then, well, they should be saved. I'm hoping. That's not cave-in dust right there, that is deadly dust. Oh, okay, looks like a section of the cavern has collapsed. Still taking things slowly here. We can see the dust spreading out, covering the entire area. That is a mess. Alright, and it looks like we caught a couple of our dwarves in cages. And so I imagine as long as we can get them out of there soon enough, then they should survive, which would be excellent. And I suppose we'll also have to assume that they didn't get covered with that dust too. That would definitely kill them. Alright, here comes the other cave-in. More dust getting thrown out. And the remaining dwarves were pushed in cage traps as well. You know, that system is actually pretty interesting, I say. I've never tried something like that before, so it's interesting to see it working. Man, oh man, this is not going to work well. Like, none of this is going to work well. We're only really just holding off the inevitable at the moment. There's nothing preventing that pterodactyl from flying up into our fortress right now. And so just for the hell of it, I ordered those other levers to be pulled as well, to drop the rest of those supports. Just for the hell of it. Looking up to the north here, I can see some miasma popping out of this area where these dwarves are. And so I have a feeling that that deadly dust caused them to rot or something. Not excellent. Alright, let's see. What are we going to do here? Okay, we have a few jabberers at this point. Those hatchlings that I showed off earlier have grown into adults. So currently we have 7 adult jabberers, and a few of which are not well trained, and a few of which are not tame. So, I don't know, how about we put these things to the test? That forgotten beast down there is a bad one because of its dust, but because it's a natural creature, not like that crystalline dinosaur thing we saw earlier, it can be cut open and bleed and ripped apart and stuff, so a jabberer might stand a much better chance at destroying it. It's gotta be worth a shot, right? And this is not going to slow down our jabberer production at all, so let's give it a shot. Next episode. That's right, unfortunately we are totally out of time at this point, and so we're going to have to hold off for a little bit. That being said, I thank you for joining me here today, and I certainly hope you'll join me next time here in Chisinau Barrel Fur, Fang Mountain, the Bastion of Beasts. And until then, my bearded bastards.